Okay guys, so I had these old videos on my YouTube channel. It's some sparring from a private that I did with my friend Jules here. So just a bit of a background. Jules, he'd come from like a karate background. He was just getting into like kickboxing, so he wanted to do a bit of sparring just to get used to the transition. So we got just a few rounds of us having a little knockabout. So the contact is like super light. So you'll notice like when I'm making contact, it's like 10%. If even that. This is all just to get him used to what we sort of do rather than like the karate style. A lot of it, like his stuff, I always say to guys, like coming from other sports, there's always some stuff that translates. You've got to adapt a bunch of stuff. So that's one thing I always say, like you can use some of the stuff that you're used to doing. Some things you have to get rid of. So you see here, a lot of it I'm just like stalking him a little bit, making him use his feet, a little bit of footwork, letting him land, and then like you see there, like when he kicks, I have to make sure he's not out of position all the time. So if he misses, I knock him back straight away. So he's getting used to going back to his stance. So there, let's see, he's just getting used to like how to block kicks now. Yeah, feed him a kick. That's the thing with new guys. You got to just once you show them it, you feed them it, feed them it, feed them it, so they get to use it. So I'm still feeding him little kicks. First with no setup, and then I set it up. So now he's got extra things to worry about. Just pumping out a jab, making sure he's looking at all things, covering it with the hands. Hand traps, pulls, making him think about all the other stuff we have to worry about. That was cool. So that you see there, he actually switched stance. I'll say to all the boys, if someone switches stance like this, straight away you kick that lead leg. Because most guys are not actually that used to switching. So you see here, so there I'd be kicking. Like I go to do it, and then he's settled and he's thrown what he wanted to throw. So my advice is to guys, when they're fighting someone that switches like that with no setup, and they're just in front of you, straight away you kick that leg. Because then they get a bit put off. But they know there's a consequence, and it's been read. I've got a bit of reach on Jules, so I counter with a left hook a lot. So I set out, I jab a lot, and then turn it over with the hook. So again, like getting used to using the shin for the kicks. I'm just saying that when the kick goes higher, obviously the shin's not going to be there, so you can start using your forearm. So that's why you want to avoid scooping under the kick. And if you are going to scoop under, you need your other hand to protect like that. And then, yeah, I'll feed him a few. Yeah, so he gets used to it. Counter him well. In that position. After that, as left it there. A little bit framing. Keep putting him out of position with those kicks. So he knows there's consequences. Levels with the kicks. People start staring really low when you start adding kicks. You've got to change the levels on them. See there, I just did a little bit of framing, so he tried closing the distance. Framed him off, little foot sweep, change the angle. Long guarding him because I've got the reach on him. Just stay protected. That's one thing with beginners, like you see it back here. I'm not sure where it is. But it's like hand position. Let's see if I can find it. So what a lot of beginners do, they'll just shell up with their hands like always touching the head, which is good, right? You need your hands protecting your head. You see me, especially here, like here, and you need this sometimes, like just hands completely touching the head, like covering like this. When you get a bit more experience, you don't really want to do that all the time. You just invite punches onto you. When you get a bit more confident, you'll start using your hands like out here a little bit. And I always say like palms open, like if you face your palms towards your partner rather than towards yourself, like touching your head, you can actually do a lot more defensively, which leaves you open to attack a little bit. So you see me, like I've usually got my palms facing out towards my partner. It makes it easier to parry, especially if you're longer. You can play with their hands a little bit more and start trapping and pulling the guard down. I'll just try and see if we've got another example. You see there, palm out. He's got his hands, his palms towards him. And like I said, sometimes you need that. You just need to cover your head. So when you get a bit more experience, you've got to play around with your hand positioning.